Well, here we go, Michelle.
Here we are, our
Yeah,
first official Monday night,
Psychedelic Monday.
Psychedelic Monday. So this is going to be a time every Monday night, 6:30 Eastern, when this is open. It's an open forum. We are here to talk about whatever you'd like to talk about.
Open forum for the community, streaming everywhere, Michelle, right? Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Man, we're evolving, aren't
YouTube.
we? YouTube.
Yep, that's right. And
Yeah.
so people can just join in to listen. You can join in to talk with video or audio. You can talk about maybe upcoming events that you've got, maybe something, a journey that you had, something going on, anything psychedelic, right?
Anything. That's what this is all going to be about. It's about you. It's about your journey, other people's journey. It's about getting people involved in this space. That's what we're got. We're all about the information education, Michelle. We
That's
jumped
right.
on this space about 3 years ago, and ayahuasca, just listen to that opening song, brings back a lot of memories, doesn't it?
It does. We got started at the same place.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of us got started at the same place in
Sure,
Orlando
we
at
did.
Soul Quest, and we used to listen to that song quite a bit.
Yeah, great song, wasn't it?
Yeah, it brings back a lot of memories.
It sure does. Go ahead, say it.
Well, I was just going to say, we're going to start introducing different segments to this show. So if you've got
Absolutely.
ideas out there, let us know. But one of them is going to be, we're going to talk about psychedelic news,
Mm-hmm.
the latest news and what's going on out there.
Yeah, there's some pretty good news this week out of
Yeah,
California, wasn't there? Why don't we
yeah.
talk about that?
Let's talk about this.
Sure.
So this is an article out of Fresno, okay? And it is about a federal magistrate judge on last week denied the government's motion to dismiss a case. So let me give you a little bit of background.
Sure.
There is an ayahuasca church in Fresno, California called Church of the Celestial Heart. And they had some medicine, some ayahuasca that was being shipped to them from South America, and it was intercepted by the United States government and the
Those
owners of the
nasty people.
church. Husband and wife team who owns the church, they were arrested. And that case is still pending. But when they got out of jail, they were put in jail.
Mhm.
When they got out of jail, they turned around and sued the state of California and the state attorney general Merrick Garland. They sued them for a permanent injunction to so that they can't get arrested again because it is their religious right under the Religious Freedom Act, and that they can practice their religious freedoms, and part of their religious freedom is drinking ayahuasca.
Hmm.
So they filed for an injunction so that they can continue to serve ayahuasca and so that the people who are in their church will not get arrested.
Interesting.
So the judge, what happened was the state of California then filed a motion to have this dismissed and said that this is ridiculous and this should not be happening. And the judge went for the plaintiffs. So he ruled that it was fair and legal and that they could file this motion. So it's a win.
Well, it is ridiculous in all ways, shapes, or form. That's how I, at least I see it. Why can't people have their own choice to heal however they want to? But the Religious Freedom Act is a really good protection for people looking for that resolution.
Well, because it is clearly written in our Constitution that we've got these religious freedoms. We can
Yeah.
practice our religious freedoms, whatever that looks like. In the psychedelic world, that means using psychedelics as the sacrament,
Right.
right?
Right.
And so what they're saying, and this, I find this really interesting, and I'm going to have to quote this because I can't remember it, but what they're saying is that Boone, who is their attorney, noted that the church could not be restricted in its ceremonies if it asked for an exemption,
Hmm.
this religious exemption, as no one who is asking for this exemption of the Controlled Substance Act can violate. So they're asking basically to not be under this act,
Interesting.
essentially, which I think is what Chris Young is doing at Soul Quest.
Yeah, I think a lot of churches are doing the same thing. They haven't really found a way around it. It's, I guess it's a game. If you want to call it a game, we have to play with them right now. But I think we're winning. I hope we're winning. By doing what we're doing, I think we're winning.
Well,
I think we have somebody tonight. I think we have somebody on
do we already? Yay,
already.
that's exciting.
I know, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. Well, let's see.
let's see.
This is a fun thing to talk about. If
Yeah,
anybody has any information
anything.
out there, wants to share about this, knows anything about it,
Yeah,
look, it's
We
Juju.
got
yeah.
Juju on the line here.
Hi,
Hi.
Hi,
thanks,
Juju.
Brian.
Can you
Juju.
hear me okay?
Yeah, we can.
All
It's.
right.
I like your setting back there. Looking good. Looking snazzy.
Yeah, well, you turn the lights off, anything can look good.
Yeah. So, what are you thinking about the Religious Freedom Act? Let's start with there, since that was the
I don't
news.
know what the hell are we talking about
I
tonight.
don't know either.
Okay, so there was a ruling in California last week, a federal ruling. There was a couple who owns an ayahuasca church there. They were arrested, both of them, and jailed for a very short period of time, but they were thrown in jail because their ayahuasca was intercepted by the US government. And so when they got out of jail, they turned around and decided that they were going to sue the state of California for basically their saying that they took away their ayahuasca. That's part of their religious practices, and
Sacrament.
they're in
Yeah.
exactly, and they're in violation. And the judge ruled for the plaintiffs, so for the ayahuasca church, only in the beginning rulings. He only ruled that this could not be dismissed by the federal government. It's a win. It's a small win, but it's a win.
Yeah.
Yeah, that they didn't dismiss it. I mean,
Not yet.
did they have all the proper paperwork for their church?
Yeah.
We don't know all. I don't know about all of that, but apparently they did. And here's the interesting part. This is the part that I find fascinating is if what the government wants them to do is ask for an exemption to the Controlled Substance Act.
Well, isn't
So
that what
if-
they all have to do?
Yeah, I think so. I think they all have to do that. Most churches are doing that.
But nobody gets approved.
No,
That's
Nobody-
their loophole.
nobody has yet. They're just trying to keep us sick, right, Juju?
Dude, don't even get me started on the whole allopathic medicine thing.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, if you want to go there, we can go there.
Oh, we
Yeah,
can
let's
go.
get you started. Let's
Yeah,
go.
we like starting.
Okay. So anybody that doesn't know me, I have worked with Mark and Michelle, and I used to work at an ayahuasca church in Orlando, very well known one, and I believe you mentioned it before, Soul Quest.
Mhm.
And what I had so I've been working with plant medicine for 5 years. My background is I was a massage therapist. After got started raising my kids, I went into be a massage therapist. Then I went into nursing. But all along this path, I've always been interested in alternative health care.
Mhm.
I used to manage a health food store up in Jersey, and I used to consult with physicians, not just allopathic physicians, but chiropractors and naturopaths. So we used to brainstorm. They would come into the store and they'd be like, "Oh, I got a client that has this going on, and I wanted to come pick your brain." So we would walk around the store and do our thing. So that's a little bit of my background. Then in 2018, I came to plant medicine because I was right on the edge of insanity, taking my own life. I was in a bad place, as you have heard from many people, I'm sure, that come to plant medicine. So I partook of ayahuasca at Soul Quest, and shortly thereafter, like many people, I started volunteering. Then they hired me. I was working there for about 9 months to a year, I guess. And then I left of my own accord. So, yes, to what you said, Mark, yes, the system, allopathic medicine system, yes, they can't make any money off us if we're educated and well.
Mhm. You're very true about this.
So, if we're not educated, then we can't get well.
Yeah, and speaking of education, back in 2018, when you're first entering this plant medicine space, there wasn't too much education like there is today. I mean, very little, if any. We were digging deep and far.
Well, yeah, and everybody's like, "Hey, how was your journey? How was your
Yeah.
journey? How was your journey? How was your journey?" So we were picking everybody else's brains.
Yeah.
But as anybody that's worked with plant medicines, um, everybody's journey is different. We
Yeah.
know this. Um, and now, because of this, what they're terming the psychedelic renaissance, which is, thank you,
Yes.
thank you. I'm so
Thank you.
excited.
Me too.
Um, we're getting more unadulterated information. Now, especially if you go to places like maps.org,
Hmm.
which is a fabulous resource
Absolutely.
for not just what's going on legally with the different psychedelics, but also the research that's being done.
Mhm.
With MDMA, ketamine, psilocybin, ayahuasca, LSD, just like across the board. So, and for people like me, I'm a science geek, okay, and I am a Cambo practitioner. And so I'm always wanting to see the why. Why? Why does it work like that? What is the mechanism in the body physiologically? How does that work? And of course, we're in a constant learning process with these medicines,
Mhm.
you know. Um, so,
Well, let's
yeah,
go and
it's,
let's talk about these medicines a little bit because, like you said, we're all in a lot of clinical trials right now with a lot of these
yeah.
medicines. MDMA, I think, is going to be really the first one, and maybe even this
I
year. Yeah,
Yeah, I
but
think they're gonna. I know maps.org put in a request. If I'm saying it correctly, I believe they put in a request to reschedule it, so it won't be a Schedule One because
Right,
mhm,
right, right.
I think they've finished the third phase of MDMA trials.
yeah, I
Um,
think. Go ahead. I
and
think they're
uh,
all. I think they're almost like. I think psilocybin's coming to phase three, right?
I believe so. Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm
So
pretty sure.
it's a very
Um,
interesting time for all of us, especially some of us that have been in this space for a while. Like, really, I started off with ayahuasca, but I really think psilocybin is going to be the medicine for us. For this Western world. I think there's a lot of true potential, a lot of areas, not just for mental clarity, but just there's just a lot of good things with mushrooms in general. But
yeah,
that's the one. So. I'm really looking forward to this. That's why we're doing all this. That's why this information and education is so important. Because I think, like you said, they're not going to really understand and allow us how to do this. So we have to kind of educate ourselves. And I think
yeah,
there's a new era coming up that we are educating ourselves because we know this old system didn't work for it's not a one size fits all, and plant medicine gives us that opportunity where it is a kind of not a one size fits all because we understand it is not, and all these medicines work different.
yeah. And I mean, I think I'm not sure. Didn't one of you guys have an ibogaine experience
Yes, I
recently?
did.
Mark did.
Okay,
Iboga, yeah,
okay. Um, See, iboga, I have heard fabulous things
absolutely,
about iboga,
yeah,
and I partook of that medicine once. It is obviously not my medicine.
right, absolutely. You know,
And people need to understand that, like you were saying, Mark, it's not a one size fits all.
it isn't.
Um, and I think it lends us to a new tribe mentality where we sit like this and we talk about, hey, what did you encounter? What were the circumstances under which you first partook of this medicine? What was your experience like? What was the after experience, the integration? I mean, the
Especially in the
integration
right,
alone is
ex
like all
yeah,
consuming.
especially in the beginning of these journeys. It's really important to do that talk. Like, what did you experience? Because first of all, you're having feelings you never felt before because we never felt the fucking feelings. So now we're here
Oh
feeling
yeah.
these feelings, and you have to ask people, how do you feel this? What is this? So really interesting stuff what we're entering.
Well, and Juju, you bring a unique perspective to it because you're a registered nurse.
Mhm.
Oh,
So,
actually, I'm sorry, let me correct you. I'm a licensed practical nurse.
licensed practical nurse. Okay,
Yeah.
licensed practical nurse. You've got the education behind you and got the certification. So you do bring a unique um, sense of safety to some people.
A unique, yet more and more people are participating in this uniqueness because I think who said this a few weeks ago? Kirby. I think if you're in this space and you're a nurse or any kind of practitioner, if you are not educating yourself a little bit about psychedelics, you're going to be a dinosaur in about 5 years. There has to
Oh,
be,
yeah.
yeah, it's really, you need to know about this. And that medical space knows about it. They just can't enter this realm quite yet.
Um, yeah, it does give me a unique set of qualities, qualifications. I don't even know how to term it anymore.
Right.
um, it's yeah, because I'm able to walk between. It feels like I'm walking between two worlds when I'm at a retreat. Um, and I've been hired to do medical intake. So I've got my science brain on, I've got my nurse cap on, you know. But then when we step into that sacred space, when everybody is in circle and they've partaken of the medicine, then the science mind goes back and that spirit, mama bear, mama wolf, comes forward.
Interesting.
And I remember sitting in the Maloka holding space for people. And that's exactly what it felt like. And I would get the feedback from people, and they would say to me, all I had to do was look up and see you there, and I knew I was safe. And they would go back into their journey. And I was like, that's the greatest fucking
You can
compliment.
say
Absolutely.
Oh, goody.
Yeah, you're totally
That's
welcome to
the
curse here.
greatest.
it.
Okay. That was the greatest fucking compliment I could get from
Yeah.
anybody. You
Yeah.
know, that they felt safe because
Ye-
being a survivor of childhood abuse, you know, that's it.
Mhm.
If you're feeling safe, then you can really just surrender, you know, and that's the biggest thing.
Well, I can speak from firsthand knowledge. I mean, the first time I went and did ayahuasca, you were one of my facilitators. And I sat with you in that maloka, and it was magical. And I do remember feeling safe because it's scary. It's very, very scary, especially when you're doing it for the first time. Well, I mean, I think it's scary every time in a healthy kind of scary, not
Yeah.
terrified way, but a healthy fear. But the first time I was actually terrified. And it is important to have people around you where you can feel safe because it is within that safety net that you can be most vulnerable and do the most healing. If I'm not feeling safe and then I'm not being vulnerable and I'm not being open.
Yep, absolutely. And speaking of safe, anybody can jump on in this conversation out there. We're out there live if anybody wants to hop on in.
Oh, is there
And
more people?
there
Yeah,
will be.
jump
And
in,
let's
jump
go, let's
in.
talk about safe a little bit. I think because I think a lot of people don't come to this medicine because they hear how unsafe it is and the fear behind it. I think this is in my mind, I can just speak for myself. I think it's totally, I mean, there is a fear base to it, but it's it's a different fear, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's I think that's one of the reasons that it's important we do research. Anybody that's considering psychedelics, that's why I think it's very important to do your research so you know the people that are cooking the medicine or handling the medicine, the people that are going to be holding space for you. The environment, set and setting is so like so important. And I think that's why it's important for everybody to do a lot of research and take your time doing the research, so that you know you are in a safe space.
Well,
Um,
let's talk a little bit about set and setting because you've held a lot of space. You've done a lot of space holding and your time in this space. So tell people what it is like. What is set and setting?
Um, my interpretation of set and setting, and different people have different points of view, um, but there's usually a pretty generic set and setting. So, what is your mindset going into this? To me, that's your set. What are your intentions? And I think it's very important for people to be honest and clear and keep it simple. I think our first time going into medicine, it can be very like, oh, well, I want this and I want this and I want this and I want this and I want everything to be fixed,
Right.
you know,
Yeah,
because we're desperate. I mean,
we are. We're
seriously,
so
allopathic
desperate.
medicine has brought us to a level of desperation
For sure. You're no
where,
doubt about that.
it's hard. So your set, your intention, and the mindset is very, very important, which goes hand in hand with pre-ceremony um, readiness. Talk to the people that you're going to be working with. you know Surely the people that you've chosen, and I say you generically, surely the people that you've chosen will have the opportunity to sit with you a couple of times, either via phone,
Uh-huh.
video, or in person, to discuss with you what you may expect, what your intentions are, what they are going to provide for the client, and then setting the environment. Okay, not just the aesthetics of the environment. Yes, it's nice to do medicine in a pretty place with a beautiful fire pit, and a water feature and palm trees and
Right.
whatever. That's all dandy.
Yeah.
Um, but it's more about how the environment feels. Has the environment been cleansed energetically? Are the people feeling centered? The people that you're going to be working with, does it feel safe? Does it feel like everybody's centered? And we all go off the deep end, and when we're preparing for ceremony, because we're trying to get so many things done, usually with too few hands.
Yeah.
Right.
But when it comes to sitting down with the people that are going to be holding space for you and serving medicine for you, do they in general feel centered? um, is is there Are their words matching their actions? That's a big one for me. Okay,
Absolutely.
I'm gonna watch you for a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna watch you for a while to make sure that your words and your actions
Mhm.
match up, because if they don't, to me, you're full of shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very true.
And I'll give you more than one opportunity for your words and your actions to match, because everybody gets thrown off by shit every once in a while. So sometimes first impressions are not always the best,
Right.
you know? So I'll give somebody a second chance to show me by their words matching actions who they are. So to me, that's what set and setting is. Do you want music? Are they going to take your desires into consideration? And a lot of times with new people that are new to the medicine, they don't know what they want.
Right.
They've
Absolutely.
never
Yeah.
done this before,
Right.
No clue. Mhm.
Right.
And so I've had the opportunity to sit in medicine, with music, whether it was Icaros or some recorded, nice metaphysical type music. And I've also sat in medicine in complete silence.
I don't know if I would really like the silence. So I think that's all a personal preference at one point, you know, especially in a boga. I wish the fucking music would have stopped. It's that
Oh,
same.
that
part of it,
that
that's
twang, dude, that
Yeah.
twang into that thing.
Holy
Oy,
shit balls.
boo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is something that is
I
very
think
intense. You
And it's
know,
many
But
hours of it is the
many,
problem.
many hours. But that medicine's really, that's really not even a psychedelic. And the healing powers in that medicine is amazing, especially when it comes to like opioid addiction. I mean, you're talking the 86th percentile with ibogaine. Iboga's a
yeah,
little different, and it's more of an alkaloid, but I think it's more of a reset of your whole nervous system is what it is. It 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 resets it, and it's pretty amazing medicine. As are all these medicines, pretty amazing,
Yeah,
but
but
they all have
this
their
one,
own spot.
I saw a noticeable difference. And to this day, now it's been a year, right, since you went and did it. It's been almost a year.
Yeah,
That's shocking to me. But I noticed it immediately, and I still notice it almost 12 months later, a difference in I notice his difference in his nervous system.
okay.
yeah, pretty,
Now,
pretty
It's
amazing.
significant.
Yeah,
Hmm.
sometimes it's easier for the people that were around to pick up on those things, you know. So that's why it's nice to have somebody close by giving you feedback,
yeah,
you
and
know.
in this space, we learn how to understand that constructive feedback. Because I think I've never had an experience of these medicines where, you know, things change. And I don't think I've never seen anything do that before, like psychedelics have, like basically talk therapies, antidepressants,
You mean
all
like such a
these
significant change so quickly?
significant changes and
Yeah.
so quickly, like because we talk about integration. We don't want to hype people up out there about medicine that's a cure-all, but if you follow this path and you follow the understanding and you really
Do
break
the
that
work.
unconsciousness to more conscious, things really change.
What is
Yeah.
the work to you, Juju? What's doing the work mean to you?
Yeah, it's all about the integration.
Yeah, for
What's
sure.
that mean
And
though?
seriously, anybody can take medicine,
Yeah.
Anybody,
but
yeah,
what are you going to do with that? And it's like Mark said, you step out of a world of unconscious into a world where you're more conscious. So, now that you've had this experience, you know, what are you going to do with it?
right, exactly.
We just had a
And that's
Facebook
what
user comment. I just did the silence in medicine. 20 hours of sitting quietly. Tough.
Whoa,
Was that Miss Paula?
Wow.
Paula,
20
yes.
hours. Yeah.
Paula, I wish you'd
Okay.
jump on here with us.
But 20 hours of sitting in medicine, that's kind of crazy too, to sit in silence. I mean,
It is. But the perk to sitting in silence with any medicine, I believe, is there's no distraction.
right.
As much as I love music, believe
Yeah.
me, it's all the Alexas in the house are playing something. You know what I mean? I love some music. Your kids, both of them.
Yeah.
So,
S-
um,
So
but
before,
it,
so go ahead. I'm sorry.
that's
But yeah,
okay.
you're
Yeah,
right. It's a distraction. It can
yeah, it
be
can
a
be a
big distraction.
distraction, and
Mhm.
it's a lovely distraction, but it is that. So when you're sitting in silence, there is nowhere else to go but here,
Yeah,
right here.
that heart space, right?
Yeah, and let me tell you what that just it the intensity and the simplicity simultaneously is wow, just wow.
Well, I
I
mean, there's
think,
whole silence retreats, right? I mean, I always thought I wanted to go to India and go to an eat, pray, love kind of
Oh, you don't even got to
situation
go
for a
to
while.
India. You can go up to Georgia.
Uh-huh. Okay.
well,
You
I
know,
think that's what I'm looking for at the end of the day is that love, that heart space, that true. I don't see anybody else come to these medicines for any other reason because of that. Because I think once you find that, especially with ayahuasca, that's the one that really, I think, can really bust you open and, really shake you up like no other. Like none of these other medicines really do. I think that's really the heart
Mm.
opener. But maybe I'm wrong,
it
but that's
is.
my
It
opinion.
is. No, and your opinion is thoroughly valid.
Yeah.
And it is. It does bust you open in a, very unique way. To me, ayahuasca is more matrilineal.
Mhm.
It is the mother, so that busting open is different to me personally
Right.
than other medicines. My favorite, as far as really just is is Bufo
Oh, of
alvarius.
course. Let's talk about Bufo.
Yeah, let's talk about that for
Oh
a
my
minute.
God,
Mhm.
The God
that
molecule.
medicine, that and it is the truth to me personally.
What
Yeah.
did it do for you? What did it do for you?
It enabled me to understand what one love feels like. When I came out of it, and it wasn't my first bufo that I felt that with. It was my second bufo experience. Um, it was just the level of love that I felt. It always brings me to tears.
Yeah,
Yep.
I totally
The
understand
level of
that.
love that I felt, not just from the cosmos at large, but the people that were holding space for me and myself.
Mhm.
It was like I really, really love me, and I
That is
really, really love you.
Yeah.
absolutely. That's an
And
amazing medicine in that aspect. And
Oh,
the studies, because we love studies, what's happening there with that medicine, with the veterans and PTSD is just
oh man,
mind-boggling. So,
yeah,
I mean,
there's an understanding to Bufo. There's an
yeah,
understanding for myself. And I had the same experience, Juju. My second experience was far more powerful than the first. And I think it's because I was so afraid the first time. I mean,
yeah,
it is scary to let go like that. It is scary.
yeah,
And I was holding on, and the second time I really let go. And it is this all understanding. And I know I've said this a million times, but I kept saying, I get it, I get it, I get it. What do you get? Everything. Fucking everything.
yeah,
You name it, I get it. I understand. I understand the connection. I
yeah,
understand the love. I understand the power. It's like there's nothing like it.
no.
yeah. There really is not. The experience was so profound for me. It just wow. It was just amazing.
5-MeO Bufo, I think, is the closest thing to death on earth that we'll ever experience. I think, I think it's that just
Possibly.
it's something about that blast, that DMT release that you actually, I mean, that white light. I mean, you only hear about those white light stories from near death experiences. And, when
Yeah,
you
it
see
was.
that, when you have those true breakthroughs on 5-MeO, there's nothing like it.
Yeah,
There's
it's
no
amazing.
stopping it either. I mean, it's so
I
I
tell you
mean,
what, though, the first one was interesting. It was a very small dose that was offered to me. I was helping facilitate a Bufo ceremony, and it was not a full dose, very small dose, which was perfect. But I did get the vision at the time that I would be traveling with medicine. And
Interesting.
anybody that knows me knows I have definitely done that.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
let's talk about
more to
your
come.
medicine for a minute.
Yeah,
Oh, my
you are a
Cambo.
practitioner, Campbell. We love
I
this
am.
medicine.
The other frog.
Oh, well, one's a toad, one's a frog.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I do
That's
know.
okay.
Yeah.
Everybody does. So Cambo, yeah, Cambo is my love. I went down to Peru in 2020 for a week to learn how to, um, to ask permission, firstly, um, to serve this medicine. I had been called to serve this medicine, and I felt, and I know, it's not a requirement for everybody, but it felt right for me to go down there and get permission and to be in the jungle with the frog, the Philomedusa bicolor frog. Um, it felt right for me to get permission and to be there. And the night that we went out to look for the Philomedusa, they were out in abundance. The person that was our guide said that that was the most of the frog he had seen in quite a while. So I took that as a good omen. So Cambo um, is the giant monkey tree frog down in Peru, and it can be as big as my hand. It's a beautiful bright green, and the that particular one that we get the medicine from, I think there are 6 or 7 in the Phylomedusa. I don't know the terminology. I'm not a biologist, but the bicolor has a distinct coloring. So it's very very important for people that are going to be partaking or serving to know exactly who's getting the medicine and where they're getting it from, and are they getting the medicine ethically. I cannot stress that enough. Okay. Horrible things happen to these beautiful, beautiful amphibians because people are being assholes about getting medicine, and they're taking it from the wrong frog. They're not handling the animal with any respect or love. So I wanted to make sure that that was not the case. Um, so yeah, the secretion from this frog, we scrape it off, and then we put it on a stick and it dries. So when I am getting ready to go into ceremony with people, we reconstitute that medicine. I do it in a way that some people don't. But the medicine gets reconstituted, and there's a little, the top layer of skin gets burned and then taken off. So that's called a gate, or some people call it a window.
Hmm.
There's no blood. If you have blood there, you got burned too deep. So you're just taking off the top layer of skin. And sit down. I sit down with my client and I discuss with them what their intention is. Have they thought about where they would like their dots, gates, windows, whatever? So we have some discussion. They also fill out a medical history form, because there are some things to look out for.
Sure.
I personally keep my eye open for people that have digestive disorders or a history of alcoholism. Those things can affect the esophagus because with Cambo, it is a purgative. Most of the time, not all of the time, and it is not required. Most of the time, people do purge this way. A lot of times, they purge the other way.
Sometimes it's both
um,
at the same time.
yeah, and sometimes simultaneously.
Yes, it is.
But I like to know the medical history, and that's the nurse side of me. Because if people have digestive issues, their esophagus can be compromised, and that can cause some serious, serious medical issues.
Is that because of the
Um,
swelling, would you say?
um, Sometimes it can be from the swelling, yes, but a lot of times, a lot of people that have a history of alcoholism, and I am not a doctor, so understand this. I am merely an LPN. This is all from my experience. Sometimes the lining of the esophagus can get thin, and also the blood vessels that are in the esophagus can be close to the surface. So, with the intensity, occasional, not always intensity, of the purging process with Cambo, it can cause some vessels to pop, or from the swelling, the intensity of the vomiting. So, and then that in turn can cause some bleeding issues. Is there something I can do to fix the feedback?
No, I think they do it on your
Let
end.
me let me see what I can do there.
Okay. I don't know if you've got your,
Our amazing producers back there.
I've got regular headphones, but I don't use them usually. Anyway, so yeah, Cambo, the Cambo gets put on the gate. It looks like a little snot ball. Um, and then you choose how many gates you have, and the lymphatic system picks up the medicine and circulates it throughout your body. And if you've ever had a niacin flush, that's what it feels like initially.
Yeah, you're right.
You feel that flush, and you get hot, and you actually turn red. Um, and you'll feel sometimes there's a prickly sensation all over your body. sometimes you'll feel pressurized in your head because it does pass through the blood brain barrier. They're researching it for Alzheimer's and Parkinson's.
Very interesting.
Um, so, and you can also feel maybe some rumbling in your tummy, digestive tract, um, because it is a smooth muscle relaxer. So it will drop your blood pressure. So I'm telling you, it's definitely a benefit being a nurse working with this medicine because
I
there
bet
have
you.
been a couple of times where I've been like, okay, so I keep some pink Himalayan salt with me. Because of the water consumption, sometimes people's electrolytes will get low and they kind of get this funky color to them. So I'll put some Himalayan salt under their tongue and that'll help.
Well, there's
And there's
definitely
a lot of,
benefits. There's definitely benefits for being a nurse for all these medicines, you know?
oh
I mean,
God, yeah.
that
Oh, yeah.
safety factor is so important for
Yeah.
so many because they're coming to these medicines and they want to feel safe and they want to feel comfortable. And, you doing that and you being coming out and talking like this is just this needs more. We need more of
That's
this.
the
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the biggest reason I do things like this. And I can be a little bit of a ham bone, so I actually put makeup on for y'all.
You look
Yeah.
beautiful.
Thank you.
Well,
Um,
it was fantastic having you as our
Yeah,
first
I love having you on
psychedelic
here.
Monday
This is why
guest.
we're doing this so that we
Yeah,
can get people on and just talk, have
yep,
yeah,
conversations.
yep.
yeah,
And join
it's
in.
awesome.
Yeah, we need more joiners, people that like get out of their shell and ask the questions, because we're shooting live everywhere. And,
I
there's a
love
lot of
it.
questions out there to be
That's right.
answered.
And people can get on
I
just
love it.
audio if they don't want to show their faces. When
Yeah.
I
Right on.
first went down this path and I would get on Brandon's Wednesday night call it would be horrifying to
Yeah,
have to show my face to all these people. And so
yeah,
I know that
yeah,
it's scary, but you can get on just audio if you don't want to show your
yeah.
I,
face.
I think
I love what the plant medicine path is turning into. It's beautiful.
I love
I'm
it
so
too.
proud of you guys.
We did. We're so proud of ourselves. We're so proud of the community. We're so proud of the community. I mean, the community has
Yeah,
really been so supportive, and so many people are in need, and they want these answers to these questions. They're searching, and I know that we're giving them this opportunity. There's not too many platforms, if any, but maps that are doing things like this and getting
Right.
this
At a
word out there.
foundational level so that we can come at it from all angles, the information,
yeah,
the education, the coaches, the geo directory, the church, Mama Dose. I mean, we're trying
yeah.
to come at this
Coaching.
from every
Right.
angle.
Because this is an
Yeah,
individual path. I mean, I will say this every day of the week. This isn't like, and this is an individual path, and you need to kind of learn this path from others and on your own. This isn't like a
sure.
pill. This isn't a pill you take, and I don't know.
Hey,
It's
we got
different.
somebody else. Who do we got there? Is that Paula?
I think we got Paula coming in.
Paula.
Hold on one
Hi,
second.
person.
Sorry, one second.
We got Paula tonight.
I love this.
Hi, Paula. So
Let's see if we
so
can
I
get
heard you might have been in a quiet journey.
one second. Let me fix the audio here.
She's on mute, I think. In the meantime, Juju, you're going to have to tell me about this place in Georgia.
Say what?
This place in Georgia where you can, the silence retreat.
Oh, oh gosh, I don't even remember the name of it. I'll find it and send you the link. But yeah, there's a retreat place up in Georgia that has 10 days silent retreats.
That's medicine all on its own.
That is.
It's a Buddhist retreat place.
That's beautiful.
So is Paula there?
Do
Can we
we
hear
have-
about her
Yeah,
quiet
Paula,
audio?
retreat?
do you have headphones at all?
I do, but my mic is working.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can hear you.
It's
Kind of.
just it's just that we have feedback.
We can maybe just put her audio if she wants.
It's spirit telling me I need another 20 hours in silence.
Heard that.
I get a lot of feedback right now.
A lot of feedback too.
Yeah, I'm trying to echo cancellation. It's not working.
Well, we're definitely live on Psychedelic Monday.
This is live.
is live.
Boom, baby.
This is fun. I love doing this.
I love your. Is that a
It
tattoo?
is.
Is that a tattoo there?
Right, this one?
Yeah.
Are you talking to me? Yes.
Yeah. That looks like it was very nice and painful.
Oh, that was the most annoying tattoo I have.
I bet you.
It looks very
I'm glad I
painful.
only have one neck.
Do we have Paula yet? Is she just gonna go somewhere else?
She's
for a minute?
meandering.
Still have echo.
Well,
Yeah, it's okay. Let's see if she comes on. She was in a ceremony this weekend. I think she wanted to
I think-
tell us about.
yeah, I think she was in a peyote ceremony. Hi, Paula.
Hi, Paula. Can you hear me? Is that better?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You just have a delay.
a delay.
I'm really
Delay.
loud. Wow.
I'm really loud.
Yeah, we would need headphones, Paula. Sorry.
Paula, we love you.
Right. Love you.
Ciao. Well, Juju, you know, it was great having you as our first Monday psychedelic guest. It was really fantastic, right, Michelle?
Yeah, it was. I love having you on here.
Yeah.
This is just fun, just to come on here and talk shit and
Yep.
catch up. And
We're going to do a lot more of these. We want to get the community more involved. We want to get people out there
Yeah.
more involved. So,
I mean, Mark and I are all about getting this community involved. Everything we do is trying to get our community involved together.
Yeah. And the Geo directory, what a great fucking idea. Thank you.
yeah, thank
That was awesome. Well, people are always like, but I'm out here in the middle of the Midwest. We can probably find somebody for you.
There you go. That's our new salesperson. right there.
Exactly.
You
Bringing
know?
people
Yeah.
together, bringing it together. We
Yeah,
can't do this by
PR, man.
ourselves.
We got her and Joe Bob,
Geolocator.
Juju
I'm
and
telling
Joe.
you, I love doing. That's one of the reasons I wanted to start traveling was, this is not everywhere. I mean, there's a cluster of us here in Florida.
Yeah.
Actually, I think the whole state for the most part, like not so much up here where I'm at, up in North Central Florida,
So,
but Central and South.
right.
And there seems to be a concentration here in Florida, and of course, out in Arizona and the Midwest, lower Midwest, like Arizona, New Mexico, and California. But people up in Ohio. I just talked to a friend of mine tonight who's a shaman. She just moved up to Ohio, where she's originally from. And she said there is nothing going on up there. So she's going to be doing some retreats on her property.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get her on the
Solterra.
directory.
I'm telling you, I'm going to have to make sure I tell her. I was just on the phone with her today. And so she's going to be doing some work up there. I'll be up there in August. To work with her at her veterans retreat.
Love that.
And well, she's going to be doing some inner child work. It's not going to be a medicine retreat per se, as far as any psychedelic, but we are going to speak about psychedelics. We're going to speak about Cambo. I will probably be serving some Cambo up there. We're going to do some inner child work. We're going to do some deep digging. And she has such a sacred piece of property up there. I've already been up there once, and it's just lovely. And she holds the most beautiful space.
Ohio.
Yeah. So Ohio. So we got some people in Ohio. Sacred Sanctuary Retreat is in Orlando.
Yep.
You know, I have
Love
very,
them.
very, very good things about Sacred Sanctuary.
Yeah, boy, but those
Yes.
are, all of our friends from Soul Quest
Yeah.
are
Yes,
there doing
yes.
this. And
So,
we had a friend of ours who was going to hop on here tonight, but she wasn't able to, who was just there, I think this past weekend
Mhm.
at the women's retreat,
okay.
maybe.
And we'll be talking more about that
Oh,
coming up.
yep.
Yeah, but yeah, we love those
yeah,
guys.
because I was there working.
Okay. Well,
for
you
the
probably
women's
met her then.
retreat.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of
and I'll-
people doing a lot of good work out there.
A lot of good work.
Yeah.
And you are doing a lot of great work, Juju. Thank you for all your great work.
You are welcome. And can I do a little PR for myself?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Whatever
Okay.
you do it. It's floor
If
is yours.
anybody has any questions, wants to contact me, you can get me at gypsycambo.org. That's my website. Or you can email me at gypsycambo@gmail.com. My telephone number's on there. You can email me, you can text me, reach out. I love it.
This is
There
one
it is.
person that can make you feel very safe. Juju's
tell
an
you what.
awesome facilitator, very safe, very
Very thorough. She will
Very
meet with you
motherly.
beforehand. She will go very motherly. You know, that is the one thing about these medicines is we all want our mom. You know what I mean? We really do. We all want our mom. And Juju is that embodiment. And
Yeah.
and it's she's a beautiful
Thank you, love.
friend and medicine
Thank you.
woman and dear friend of Mark's and I.
Thank you.
You're our friend, Juju. You're our friend. Love you, my friend.
I love you guys. Thank you for having me. And whoever the voice is in the background, thank you for holding down the fort.
You are welcome.
It's Ryan and Shayna. We love them.
do her
Okay.
a bye outro like
Here we go.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye, Juju. Please
Ciao.
come back
Ciao.
anytime, every Monday. Hop on anytime.
Well, I don't know about every Monday, but you got me for
Well,
this
we'll
one.
be here
For
every
the
Monday. You
premiere.
hop
Here we go,
on.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Love you guys.
Love
Thanks.
you.
Ciao, ciao.
I don't know if that's
Well, that was great.
Yeah, that
going.
was the best. She is the
Yeah.
best.
I like friends. You know, we had a friend hop on tonight, to see how this show would go. We need more involvement, though. Let's get more involvement.
Come
We're
on,
gonna
you guys.
get 'em.
Everybody hop on and
Mhm.
Monday night, 6:30 p.m. You can jump on here to talk about maybe an offering that you have coming up, an
Mhm.
event you have coming up. You want to talk about yourself. Hop on. Talk
If you
to
want
us.
to integrate, we'll help you integrate. We are
That's right.
here.
We were thinking about having one of these nights, we're going to get an integration coach on here and have a little live integration going on so you can see what that's about. People want to know what that means. We're
Yeah.
going to show you.
We are definitely going to show you. We're here.
Yeah, this has been fun. Okay, where can they find us? We really need you to subscribe. Medicine with the Metals on YouTube, please. We know
Subscribe.
thousands of you are watching.
Viewing.
Thousands.
Let's hit that subscribe button. Ding, ding, subscribe.
You can
where
find
else?
us the Plant Medicine Path.
IG.
We've got our beautiful Roots to Recovery Geo Directory,
Mhm.
Mama Dose,
Those
all
are
things microdosing
our
and
great
macrodosing.
ability.
Church of the Sacred Plants. We facilitate psilocybin ceremonies all over the country.
Katakina Hot Base is another good affiliate.
We've got
Soul Vine.
Soulvine Farah. We love her. We've got
We do.
Myco Girl, Nancy Roberts.
Yep.
We're going to get them on here sometime soon.
We definitely are.
Come on.
We
We'd love
love
to
you.
have you.
We love you all.
Good
Ciao.
night.